It was supposed to be unbreakable. Remy Ma and Papoose, the hip-hop couple that fans swore would never fold, never break, never betray. But now, the internet is in flames. Whispers turned into headlines. And those headlines just turned into fire. Because Remy Ma has finally stepped forward to address the rumors that won't go away. The ones tying Papoose to none other than Olympic boxing champion Claressa Shields. It started with a message, then another, and then a leak. Private texts between Claressa and Papoose surfaced online, filled with winks, late-night confessions, and a line that no one saw coming. "She'll never know unless you tell her." Fans were stunned. Screenshots went viral. Timelines erupted. And Remy? She went silent. Until now, tonight, she's breaking that silence. And what she says may just destroy the love story hip-hop held onto for years. Because this isn't just about cheating, it's about loyalty, legacy, and the ugly truth behind the perfect image. Did Papoose really step out on Remy? Is Claressa Shields hiding more than just a few messages? And what pushed Remy to finally speak? Was it love? Or revenge? Stay right where you are. Because what you're about to hear will flip everything you thought you knew about this couple. Upside down. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Remy Ma stood in her kitchen, phone in hand, eyes fixed on the screen. It was just one screenshot at first, one blurry image of a conversation between her husband, Papoose, and the undefeated boxing champion Claressa Shields. But then came more. And more. Text after text, emoji after emoji. Things that didn't look professional, things that didn't sound like business, things that felt intimate. Remy's hands trembled. She scrolled through the thread, her stomach tightening with every line. "You looked amazing last night," one message read. Another said, "I can't stop thinking about you." And then the one that really knocked the air from her chest. "She'll never know unless you tell her." The post had leaked late the night before, uploaded by an anonymous Instagram account known for exposing celebrity dirt. Within hours, they had been reshared by every major blog, tagged in every comment section, and dissected by fans who once idolized her marriage. Remy and Papoose had been a symbol of loyalty for years. Through prison time, music industry chaos, and reality TV cameras, they had stood together. Their love story had been called bulletproof. But now, it was all starting to feel like a lie. In the next room, Papoose sat on the couch, scrolling through his own phone. He hadn't said a word since the leak. Neither had she. Silence had filled the air like thick smoke, choking them both. Finally, she broke it. "Is there something you want to tell me?" His eyes didn't lift. "Nah, I already saw the posts. They're fake. It's just some bored fan with Photoshop." "That's what you're going with?" she asked, her voice low and controlled, but sharp like broken glass. "Remy, come on. You know how people are. They make up anything for clicks. I haven't even talked to her like that." "But you have talked to her?" He paused, and that pause said more than any lie could. "We worked together," he finally said. "That's it." Remy nodded slowly, but the damage was already done. The texts were out there. The public had seen them. And now she had seen them too. Even if they weren't real, the cracks in her trust were. Outside their home, the world was already spinning. Social media was flooded with hot takes. Fans were divided. Some stood with Remy, posting, "She deserves better," and "Loyalty ain't what it used to be." Others defended Papoose, claiming the messages looked fake, that Claressa would never cross that line. But Claressa hadn't denied anything. In fact, she posted a story that morning with a single quote: "Women always get mad when they start losing the same game they created." She didn't mention names, but everyone knew who it was aimed at. The blogs ran wild. Headlines exploded. Did Claressa Shields just confirm the affair? Remy Ma and Papoose split coming? Remy breaks silence after shady post from Claressa. It was chaos. Back in the kitchen, Remy stared out the window. Everything looked normal. Birds chirping, a car passing, kids playing down the block. But inside, her world was unraveling. This wasn't just a betrayal, this was humiliation. And not just in private. This was public. This was trending. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was a message from Fat Joe. "Yo, you good?" She stared at it for a moment before locking her screen without replying. Fat Joe had been like family. They had shared stages, interviews, and memories. He'd be on her side, no doubt. But right now, she didn't want sides. She wanted truth. And the truth was, her marriage was on the edge of something dark. Meanwhile, Papoose wasn't helping. Instead of owning up, instead of fighting for her trust, he was busy defending himself on Twitter. "Never trust a blog that don't post facts," he tweeted. "My loyalty never been in question." Then he added, "Funny how people believe messages with no sources." But what he didn't know was that another message was about to leak. One. Far worse than the first. A second screenshot appeared online just hours later. This one showed a selfie of Claressa in what looked like a hotel room, with the caption, "When he says he's going to the studio, but ends up here instead." Fans connected the dots instantly. The date matched one of Papoose's recent trips, out of town. And in the background of the selfie, on the dresser, was a hat. Not just any hat. A custom black and red snapback with Papoose stitched across the side. It was the same one he'd worn in his last Instagram post. The internet went feral. Remy sat on her bed, staring at the photo, her breath shallow. This wasn't Photoshop. This wasn't fan fiction. This was proof. Or at least enough of it to kill what little hope she had left. Her phone rang again. This time it was her cousin Tasha. "Girl, I just saw that new photo. You okay?" Remy didn't know how to answer. The tears hadn't come yet. Maybe they would later, maybe not. But right now she was in war mode. "He's not denying it," she said quietly. "He's just spinning." "So what you gonna do?" Remy didn't respond. She was already packing a bag. In the living room, Papoose looked up as she walked past. "Him, where you going?" "Somewhere real." "Remy, come on! You're really believing this internet garbage?" She turned to face him, her voice steady. "I'm believing what I saw, and what you didn't say." He stood up, frustrated. "I told you, it's not what it looks like." "Then tell me what it is." Silence. Again. Remy shook her head, grabbed her keys, and walked out the door. What she didn't know was that, while she was leaving her home, Claressa Shields was about to go live, and what she said next would send the entire internet into a meltdown. Claressa Shields was already trending before she even went live. The leaked texts and the hotel selfie had catapulted her name into every gossip page, meme account, and YouTube thumbnail in the game. But no one expected her to actually speak. Most thought she'd let the rumors simmer or post a few cryptic tweets like everyone else does. Instead, she did what no one expected. She opened her mouth and lit the match. It was late, almost midnight, and the live started casually. Claressa sat in what looked like her bedroom, hoodie on, face bare, and energy unapologetic. Thousands of fans poured in within seconds. The comments were on fire. "Drop the truth. Where's the proof? Is Papoose really yours now?" The chat was moving so fast it was barely readable, but Claressa wasn't flinching. She scrolled for a second, then smirked into the camera. "Y'all act like men don't lie every day." That's how she started. Simple, sharp. And with that, the entire energy of the internet shifted. "Look, I ain't here to disrespect no woman," she said, brushing her hair back. "But what I'm not gonna do is let people paint me like some homewrecker when the truth is he was already halfway out the door." The comment section exploded. She was indirectly confirming it, but she didn't stop there. "He came to me," Claressa continued. "I didn't chase nobody. I didn't slide in his DMs. He hit me up after some industry event. We started talking. It was friendly. It turned into something else. And I told him from jump, if you got unfinished business at home, don't involve me." Then she paused, stared at the screen, and delivered the line that would end up in every blog the next morning. He said the marriage was dead. And honestly, now I believe him. Screenshots were taken instantly. Reactions poured in. People were shocked. Some praised her honesty. Others dragged her for getting involved with a married man at all. But the damage was done. She had confirmed it. At least from her side of the story. And Remy? She was watching. Alone, sitting in a hotel room she had checked into under her assistant's name, hoodie pulled over her head, eyes glued to the screen. She didn't cry. Not yet. But her jaw tightened with every word. She watched Claressa speak like it was a casual hookup, like it didn't matter, like her 15-year relationship hadn't just been reduced to a dead marriage soundbite. For the world to judge, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was her label rep. "We need to talk damage control when you're ready." But Remy wasn't thinking about music. Not now. Not while the world was dissecting her heartbreak in real time. Not while people were saying she should have known and he was too quiet to be loyal. Not while a woman she barely knew sat online and dismantled the love of her life like it was no big deal. And just when she thought it couldn't get worse, it did. Papoose decided to go live too. His face filled the screen, calm but defensive. "Y'all need to stop believing everything you see online," he began. "People out here trying to ruin families for clout. And my wife knows what it is. She knows my heart." Comments were brutal. "So you denying Claressa now? Then why she got your hat in her hotel pic? You sound guilty, bro." But he wasn't backing down. "That pic? I left that hat at the studio. Anybody could have picked it up. Messages? Fake. AI, screenshots can be edited. This is the problem with the internet. Everybody wants to play judge and jury." But even as he tried to spin the narrative, people weren't buying it, especially when one comment came in that stopped him mid-sentence. It read, "Claressa says she has voice recordings too." He froze, just for a second, but long enough. People caught it, clipped it, shared it. Papoose caught off guard. The headlines read, "Why he stutter when the receipts were mentioned." And Claressa? She wasn't bluffing. Just an hour later, she posted a 15-second audio clip to her story. It was muffled but clear enough to catch two things: his voice and his words. "I can't do this with Remy no more. It's always about her career, her name. I'm just tired." Boom, fans went crazy. This wasn't rumor anymore. This was voice confirmation. This was heartbreak weaponized for content. This was betrayal broadcast in high definition. Remy sat in the darkness of her hotel room, phone now face down beside her. She didn't need to hear it again. She knew that voice. She knew that tone. It was real. He had really said it, and he had really meant it. Her mind raced back to everything they'd been through. The visits to prison. The years spent waiting, hoping, building something out of nothing. The way he always said, "We're stronger together." And now, he was somewhere else, claiming she made everything about her. He didn't just cheat, he blamed her for it. Remy stood slowly, walked to the mirror, and stared at herself for a long time. And then, she picked up her phone and started typing. Not a subtweet, not a story, but a post. The kind of post that shifts everything, and within 5 minutes of going live, it did. The post was raw, short, no glitz, no filter, no carefully crafted press language, just real words straight from Remy's pain. She wrote, "I held you down when no one else would, through bars, through battles, through everything, and this is what loyalty gets you. A hotel room, a boxer, and a mic still hot with your excuses. I'm done." The internet didn't just react, they erupted. Fans flooded the comments with crying emojis, heart emojis, and fire emojis all at once. Timelines turned into timelines of grief, betrayal, and pure disbelief. Within minutes, the post had over 1 million likes and was reposted by every major gossip platform. Everyone, from Cardi B to Tamron Hall, had something to say. But the one person who didn't say anything this time was Papoose. The man who always had words, bars, declarations of loyalty, now had nothing. Silence. Not even a "she's lying." Not even a weak denial. And that silence, it spoke louder than anything. Else, meanwhile, Claressa posted again. A video this time. Not angry, not smug, just cold. "I'm not gonna apologize for what happened. I was told one thing and I believed it. If it was a lie, that's not on me. That's between them. But don't come for me like I broke a happy home when clearly it was already falling apart." Remy watched it in silence. Not shocked, not hurt, just still. She had passed pain now. This was the numb phase. The phase where everything felt like background noise. Fans calling her a queen, some trolls saying she should have kept him happy, family texting, producers asking if she'd film a reaction. Scene. None of it felt real anymore, but there was one thing she had to do now, something personal. She pulled up Papoose's number, stared at it, then deleted the contact. The next morning, headlines exploded again. Remy unfollows Papoose, deletes all photos and drops cryptic post. But to her, it wasn't cryptic. It was closure. In a post shared hours later, she wrote, "Every love story doesn't end in forever, but some endings are exactly what you need to begin again." Fans flooded her DMs with love. Influencers started stitching her quotes into reels. Songs were made, remixes, reaction videos. Even old clips of Remy defending Papoose on Love and Hip Hop resurfaced with captions like she really loved that man. But the internet was still hungry, and that's when something new dropped. A woman, unknown, no blue check, no followers, posted a photo of Papoose from 2 months ago. It wasn't staged. He was sitting across from her at a restaurant, no cap, no sunglasses, looking casual. In the background, her hand reached across the table holding his. The caption, "This didn't age well." The comments exploded. Who is she? Was this while he was still with Remy? How many women was he seeing? People started digging, matching timelines, outfits, restaurant locations. And suddenly, it wasn't just Claressa in the picture anymore. Papoose wasn't just being painted as a cheater, he was being painted as a serial one. Blogs started calling it the unraveling of the perfect man. A documentary-style video popped up on YouTube titled Papoose, the Fall of Hip Hop's Loyal Husband. It got over 300,000 views in 2 days. Remy, however, didn't flinch. Not anymore. She had already signed a deal with a major streaming platform, a limited docuseries, 3 parts, titled Remy Broken Beats. It was in production already. Cameras were rolling, not Love and Hip Hop, not VH1. This was her story, her way, her way. But she knew that if she was going to really tell it, she had to include everything, even the next part, because just when she thought she had reached the bottom, she got a call. Not from Papoose, not from Claressa, but from a lawyer. Her voice was crisp, cold. "Miss Mackey, we're calling regarding recent social media leaks that involve you and our client, Claressa Shields. She has filed a defamation notice based on several public comments you've made that she considers harmful to her reputation." Remy closed her eyes. "We're requesting a formal retraction within 72 hours. It wasn't enough to be betrayed. Now she was being threatened. But what they didn't know, what Claressa didn't know, was that Remy wasn't done yet, because the one thing no one had seen was what Remy had kept in her phone. The proof. The video. And once that dropped, everything was going to flip again. The video had never been meant for the public. It was something Remy recorded late one night, weeks before the scandal exploded, back when she first suspected that something was off. It wasn't evidence in the beginning. It was just intuition caught on camera. A vlog-style clip she filmed for herself, never uploaded, never edited. But now it was her final card. In the footage, Remy sat in her bedroom, hair wrapped, no makeup, speaking directly to the front-facing camera. Her voice was calm but unsure, the way someone speaks when they're still trying to convince themselves they're wrong. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But Papoose been acting weird? Different. Short with me, on his phone more, leaving for meetings that don't make sense. She glanced down at the floor, then back up. I seen the name Claressa pop up on his screen once. Told me it was business. But something about the way he locked the phone, I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid. But I'm saving this just in case. Because if this blows up one day, at least I'll know I wasn't crazy. When she watched it back now, weeks later, it hit her like a punch to the chest. She wasn't crazy. She had been right all along. And now, after everything, the lies, the leaked texts, the hotel photos, the lawyer calls, this video became more than just a private confession. It became proof of a woman ignored, dismissed, and betrayed long before the world caught on. She uploaded it in the middle of the night. No caption, no tags, just the video. And the response? Instant, overnight. The clip went viral. Blogs picked it up, fans stitched it into their own reactions. People commented, "This hurts more than any text message," and "This is what real heartbreak looks like." It wasn't a performance. It was real, and that's what made it powerful. Claressa's camp didn't respond immediately. Neither did her lawyer, but Papoose did. He posted a story the next morning, white text on black screen. "Some things are bigger than likes and follows. I'll always love her, even if I ain't show it right." Too little. Too late, Remy didn't. Respond instead, she posted another update, a behind-the-scenes photo from the set of her docuseries. This time, she was standing on a rooftop at night, wrapped in a coat, holding a mic. No tears, no pain, just power. The caption? I'm telling the story they tried to bury. The anticipation exploded. Fans couldn't wait. The hashtags came. Alive again. Broken beats. Remy's revenge. The truth hurts. Influencers started speculating what else she might reveal. Unreleased footage, voice notes, receipts from other women, but what no one expected was what came next. A former Love and Hip Hop producer came forward. Anonymous at first, then later in a public podcast, they dropped the real bomb. There were scenes we cut, the producer admitted. Moments we were told to bury. You think Remy and Papoose were perfect? Nah, we covered for him. And Claressa wasn't the first, the host gasped. Wait, you're saying this wasn't a one-time thing? The producer nodded. Not by a long shot. We kept the brand clean because fans love them. But off camera, different story. This revelation blew the internet apart. Suddenly, people weren't just rethinking the scandal. They were rethinking the entire image. Fans who once defended Papoose now started digging. Old clips were rewatched, past interviews re-examined. Every perfect couple moment was now being questioned. Meanwhile, Remy was silent, not because she had nothing to say, but because she knew exactly when to say it. And just as the buzz peaked, just as the noise hit its highest frequency, she dropped the official trailer for her docuseries. It opened with grainy footage of her crying in a green room, then shifted to high-def shots of her walking through her old neighborhood, narrating, "I built my name through bars, through pain, through loyalty, and now I'm taking it back." The trailer ended with one sentence that shook the entire fandom. He wasn't just unfaithful, he was strategic. Twitter collapsed, Instagram flooded, YouTube comments filled, up with theories. What did that mean? Had he planned it? Was Claressa part of something bigger? Was there another level of betrayal nobody knew yet? Remy hadn't just taken the spotlight back. She had lit it on fire. And behind the scenes, Papoose's phone wasn't ringing anymore. Sponsors backed out. Shows canceled his appearances. Claressa's brand deals paused. And Remy, she walked into a studio in Brooklyn, sat across from a top journalist, looked into the lens and said, "Now, let's talk about what really happened in Detroit." And with that, the final secret began to unravel. Remy took a deep breath before the cameras rolled. This was the part she hadn't told anyone. Not Fat Joe. Not her family. Not even her closest friends. But she had kept the receipts. And now, with the world watching, she was ready to lay them all out. It was 2 months before the leaks, she began, her voice measured, calm. Papoose told me he had to fly to Detroit for a music collab. Something underground, some producer he claimed was about to blow. I was busy with appearances, interviews, so I didn't go with him. I didn't even question it. Because why would I? She looked off camera for a second, then back. But then he left his iPad at home. It always starts with a mistake. Remy explained how, out of pure habit, she used his tablet one evening to stream a show. She wasn't snooping, wasn't suspicious. But as she clicked around, a series of unsynced text messages began popping up, not on her phone, not visible anywhere else, just right there on that neglected device. And the messages, they weren't just from Claressa. There was another name, Tanisha. The messages were vague but flirty. Lots of late-night you-up energy. Voice notes, location pins, Cash App receipts, and then the one that made her stomach flip. "You still flying out next week?" I booked the room. It was dated 3 days before his Detroit trip. I took screenshots of everything, Remy continued, and I didn't confront him. Not yet. I wanted to see how far it would go, if he would lie to my face, if he would walk back in that house and still look me in the eye. And he did. When he came back, she said, he kissed her on the cheek, unpacked his bag, acted like nothing happened. And that's when I knew, she said. He wasn't just slipping. He was living a whole other life behind mine. The camera zoomed in on her face, the pain subtle but present. I think the part that hurt the most wasn't even the cheating. It was how good he got at lying. Social media couldn't handle it. Detroit receipts trended for 48 hours straight. Fans demanded to know who Tanisha was. Internet detectives pulled up old photos of Papoose's Detroit appearances, and buried deep in a comment thread from a local event page, a woman tagged him in a group photo, standing beside him, smiling, her hand on his back. It was Tanisha. Within hours, someone dug up her profile. She was a local promoter. known in Detroit nightlife. And she didn't deny a thing. In fact, she made it worse. In a post that instantly went viral, Tanisha wrote, "I never said he was mine, but he definitely wasn't acting married when he was here." The caption lit up like a fuse. Bloggers jumped on it. Podcasts played it on loop. Everyone wanted to know the timeline. How long had this been going on? Was she just one of many? Or was she the one? Remy's silence only added to the mystery until the next episode dropped. This time, it wasn't just her talking. They brought in witnesses. Her stylist, her assistant, a driver. Each of them sat down, blurred faces, voices disguised. The stylist said, "I saw messages from numbers not saved in his phone. Names like Sweets and Lyrical Bay." I asked him once, and he said it was just fans. The driver said, "He asked me to drop him off at hotels sometimes. Different ones. Never brought Remy. Always said it was business." I didn't. Ask questions. But it was the assistant who dropped the biggest bombshell. I once overheard a call between him and Claressa. They were arguing. She was upset he hadn't told Remy yet. He told her, "I will, just not now. She's got too much going on." The audience watching the episode sat in stunned silence. Papoose hadn't just cheated. He had been building a web of half-truths, timing it all, managing different lives in different cities while still appearing loyal on TV. The image was shattered. And for Remy, this was the turning point. In the final scene of that episode, she walked into the studio with a beat playing in the background. Low, haunting, emotional. She picked up her pen, put on her headphones, and started writing. The docuseries ended the episode right there. Black screen, no preview, no credits, just the words. Chapter 1 ends here, but she's just getting started. And as the screen faded to black, a single note hit the audience like a punch in the chest, because what started as a leak had turned into a legacy being rebuilt in real time. And the next track wasn't about love. No flashy montage, no fast cuts. Just one camera, fixed on Remy Ma sitting alone in a recording booth. Eyes closed, headphones on. A soft beat pulsed in the background, slow, ominous, and heavy with tension. Then she opened her eyes, looked directly at the camera, and said, "You want the whole truth? Fine, let's finish this." The internet ignited. Everyone was waiting. Blogs posted countdowns. Fans flooded the comments with theories. Even celebrities were whispering. What was left? How could it get any deeper than what she'd already revealed? But Remy had saved the most devastating piece for last. Because in that final chapter, she exposed the manipulation. Not just from Papoose, but from the network. This wasn't just about a man betraying his wife, she said. This was about a system that profits from black pain, from women's tears, from fake loyalty sold as entertainment. She pulled out contracts, printed emails, messages from producers, all the moments when she was asked to keep it together for the brand, the times they discouraged her from addressing rumors, how they edited out real arguments, how they manufactured the illusion of perfection, even when she was breaking. "They told me not to go public," she said. "They said it would make people lose faith in love. But I lost faith the minute I realized I was the only one fighting for us." Then she dropped the clip, the never-before-seen footage from a Love and Hip Hop taping that was cut from the final show. In it, Remy is seen confronting Papoose off-camera outside the trailer. She's crying. He's pacing. "Just tell me the truth," she says. "If you love her, if you've been with her, just say it to my face." He doesn't deny it. He just shakes his head and mutters, "I didn't mean for it to happen like this." That one sentence, that hesitation, it was the moment everything unraveled. "They cut this," Remy said after the clip ended. "They said it was too real, too raw. They said it would ruin our image. But I'm not selling an image anymore. I'm telling my story." By now, the internet was on fire. Phrases like "too real for TV," "Remy speaks truth," and "this broke me" trended on Twitter for 48 hours. Reaction videos poured in, emotional breakdowns, stitches, duets, young women thanking her for speaking up, older women saying they'd lived through the same thing. But it wasn't just talk. Remy announced she was starting a new label, Truth House, an independent platform for women artists, built on transparency, ownership, and storytelling that wasn't filtered through, paying for profit, and then she dropped the first single, No Hook. No lies. It wasn't just music, it was testimony. Over a haunting piano beat, she rapped about prison visits, late-night doubts, ignored intuition, her pain becoming promo, her marriage becoming a meme. They called me loyal when I was losing, called me angry when I started choosing. They loved our story till it turned, then said I earned every time I burned. The track trended for days. But the biggest shock came when Claressa Shields posted the song link. No caption, no shade, just the link. And fans went crazy. Was it a peace offering? Was it guilt? Or was it acknowledgement that the battle was finally over? Either way, Remy didn't respond. She didn't have to. She had said what needed to be said. In her way, on her terms, the final episode of her docuseries ended not with tears, but with silence. A quiet scene of her sitting by a window, watching. The sunrise, pen in hand, notebook open, a new chapter waiting. The screen faded to black one last time, and the words appeared. From leaked messages to leaked audio, from tears behind closed doors to confessions in front of millions, she showed the world exactly what it looks like when a woman stops protecting everyone else and starts protecting her peace. She could have stayed quiet. She could have played the role. But instead, she ripped off the mask and showed the pain behind the legacy. And now, she's walking into the next chapter with no lies, no cover-ups, and no apology for putting herself first. But what about Papoose? What about Claressa? And what about the secrets that were left unspoken? Fans are still divided. Some believe he'll try to win her back. Some believe he already has someone else. Others think Remy's not done yet. She's just getting started. One thing's for sure, this isn't just a hip-hop breakup. This is a cultural reset. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Remy made the right decision by going public? Was Papoose always living a double life? Or did the industry break them both? And should Claressa have spoken out at all? Or stayed? In the shadows? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. This is your space. And if this story hit you hard, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another twist. Because when it comes to love, lies, and legacy, this might have been the end of one chapter, but the next story